There we did. We're live.
Ricky Bobby.
Hey, Ricky Bobby. But yeah, man. So if we do start, it's live and we're recording and
We got it all going now.
yeah,
Everything's popping.
everything's popping. You know what I'm saying? I put it on my YouTube. Go subscribe at my high floating high vibe. You know what I'm saying? Let us know how you're feeling.
Okay.
But yeah, so we can get some people in here. If you're not subscribed to CannaPostDaily on all social media platforms, go do that. Do that right now for us.
It's all one word.
Yep, CannaPostDaily. I made it simple for y'all. CannaPostDaily. Yep.
We almost added an extra I, but that's just because we're extra high. You know what I'm saying?
Ex-pot prisoners live in paper prison.
So this museum opening up in
Oh yeah,
California.
man, that would be really cool. So there's a new museum in Florida, or not in Florida.
No, it's in Cali. It's in
Opposite
Cali.
side of the country.
We wish it was. We wish
In
it was
Hollywood, California, called the Weed. Is it just called the Weed Museum or Museum of Weed?
So it's Weed Maps Museum of Weed.
Weed Maps Museum of Weed.
Museum of Weed, yep.
Museum of.
It looks really dope from the outside. They got some really, 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 really nice architecture going on there. Like, it almost kind of looks like a blunt wrap. The wood itself is finished.
Yeah, and they got there's like 7 eras of cannabis that they're gonna like cover in that museum. It was like what was it? Pro-prohibition, so like before prohibition, you know, like prohibition basically, and like the 3 different like stages of that, like the mad craze crisis, whatever they called it. And then basically once it was like, you know, all the crazy commercials and all that weird nonsense, and then like kind of the tail end of it.
Yep.
And then into like the whole compassion era, and then from there I think it was into the legalization era and today.
Yep.
So yeah, something like that. But 7 eras of cannabis, starting with the before prohibition situation.
It's
So
going to be
before.
opening on the 3rd of August.
Yep. I think what, $35 fee.
Yep,
Get in.
$35. And then
And-
it's going to have weekly hours that go from like 2 to 8 p.m. during like Wednesdays through Thursdays. And then
Okay.
noon to midnight on Fridays. VIP only on Saturday nights. And then Sunday has a noon to 7 p.m. So some really, really solid hours, honestly. You can go and check out a lot about cannabis, its rise, its falls. Wow.
Yep.
Wow. So 35 is for
Regular
GA,
admission.
right? And you can be 18 with a valid ID for that. And then VIP tickets are for guests that are 21 and older, and those are $200. VIP nights offer an intimate, less crowded museum experience with amenities that include cafe access, drinks, hors d'oeuvres, and a curated gift bag to take home at the end of the night.
I wonder what's in the gift bag.
I want to know what's in the gift bag.
That's the only.
I
want to
want the
go
gift
just
bag.
to go.
Shout out to Weed Maps. Y'all gotta send a gift bag.
Yeah, y'all should tag Weed Maps in this.
We'll open that bag.
We need to know what's in the
We'll
gift
open the
bag.
bag.
You know what I'm saying? What's in the bag?
What's in the bag?
What's in the bag?
We want the bag.
I want to know what's in the bag.
I want the bag.
Secure the bag. You know what I'm saying? Just secure the bag.
Oh, it's 30,000 square feet.
Yeah, I know.
That's
I was
huge.
reading that too. That's a big facility.
Dude, that's some
That's
BDE. All right,
That's
some big dick energy right there. Okay? All right, you know what I'm saying? Holy cow, that's
I thought
big.
you were gonna say daily driven exotics or something, because that's their thing.
Got him.
Wasn't
Wasn't ready for that one.
No.
So yeah, it was pre-prohibition, age of madness,
Yep.
counterculture revolution,
Yep.
behind closed doors,
Yep.
entrapment,
Yep.
dose of compassion,
Yes,
legalization, the plant, and that's it.
sir. Yep. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what I wanted to ask you about? Have you read anything? Did you see the post that we made? I want to say it was last week, actually. We never talked about it. About big marijuana companies kind of trying to kill the home grow situation.
I don't think I actually read that one.
So, like, I want to say it was in New York, and actually in Illinois, because you know they're the last one that just legalized.
Mm-hmm.
So they're going to basically write out home grows. So like it will be illegal to still grow your 6 plants as a legal using adult, you have to have a medical reason to grow on any sort of level.
Wild.
So, and basically what it would do for the big, more marijuana companies essentially, is allow them to capitalize on every dollar.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? They can give the whole argument of, oh, you're going to capitalize on all the tax money. You know what I'm saying? We're going to help kill the black market kind of situation.
Insane.
But and then if anything is caught, like let's say you get pulled over and you have some weed on you, if it's not labeled in an actual like dispensary situation, packaging and all that stuff, it's obviously illegal. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like it's almost like a way to like help law enforcement. Like if it's not in our packaging and our labeling and everything, you already know automatically it's illegal.
That's
like,
wild.
It's crazy. It's the craziest thing ever.
That's some crazy crazy laws right there.
Crazy thought process.
That'd basically be like saying, yeah, so we're gonna make it so that you can't grow your own corn because we're gonna capitalize on every single dollar of corn that you ever are gonna spend. Basically. Sorry. That's fucked.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna say it straight up. That is fucked. That is some rough edges.
Yeah.
And none that I want to be around at all. At all.
And not only are they dealing with it, New York is dealing with it, New Jersey. And I mean, really, if you really think about it, with Illinois being the last one to legalize, any state after them is going to probably have to deal with this issue.
I think that's wild. I don't think we should take. You're not losing out on a whole lot. Your city is making more money.
Bruh.
Electricity bills are higher. Public service.
Yeah, I know.
That should provide you energy.
Yeah. It blew my mind too. I was like, what? I was like, that's crazy. But here's another one. So let's segue.
I guess it takes away the ability of like having people like breaking transformers and things like that for their crazy at-home grow that makes their 6 plants actually 36 plants or some craziness like that. So, I mean, I see the other side of the coin. I do understand why they're trying to do it, but like I said, you're taking away my corn. I want my corn.
See, had you been in that argument to maybe give that point, then maybe it would have made more sense. But when you're thinking like politicians and big marijuana companies,
agreed.
That's money driven.
No, it's 100% money driven.
Money driven, bro.
I'm just throwing it out there from like
100%.
the side of like city council, right?
Uh-huh.
I can see where that comes in because like I've literally where I live in the suburbs have had a grow knock out our power on the entire block for like half a day.
Yeah.
Because they're just like, I'm hooking up every ballast I can into this outlet, and it's like, bruh, that's 1,000 watts of electricity, you asshole.
Yep.
And they was like, yeah, I got 10 Raptor hoods down in my basement. I'm like, that's 10,000 watts of electricity, man. Do you know what that uses? More than your entire house ever. Ever.
Yeah. So, but did you hear it now?
That's insane. They're taking away their corn, man. I can't get over this analogy.
Yeah. So we're gonna go to the other side of the world, and you're gonna like this because you this is like your side of the world. You like China and Japan and all those places. I'm really into Asian food too. Just saying.
I like the culture, not just the food, but hey,
the food is where it's at for me, bro.
Dude,
give me some chow mein, some lao mein, whatever it is.
Here by us, there's a spot that I've been meaning to show you, and this is completely off topic, but it looks so fire, and it's on topic because it's on the Asian food. There's a Korean fried chicken joint that just opened up.
Oh,
like right here.
You call Bon Bon?
Yes.
Bonchon?
Yeah.
There's one over.
Bon Bon, dude.
Yeah, it's one. It's over. There's another one out in Stapleton too.
We gotta go.
Yeah, I really want to try. People keep telling me that it's actually really good.
I hear it's insane.
Yeah.
Yeah, all my friends have told me. They're like, yeah, if you haven't had that yet, you're not a true Asian culture fan. I'm like, all right.
Oh man, all right. Well, I think I need to go do that after we leave. But so found this article was really interesting to me because the title, it was called "Pro Tip: Stop Mailing Cannabis to China."
Oh. Mailing cannabis to China?
Apparently there's an issue with people mailing cannabis to China.
What are people thinking?
So look.
International ships, huh?
So look. But here's the more interesting part, okay? I don't think that it's like so unheard of that people are mailing cannabis to China. Like, people have probably tried to mail cannabis everywhere.
Not unheard of.
You're right. So I don't think that's the unheard of part. Like, the part that really baffled me in this were the numbers at which, like, the person who's like in control of like their whole like narcotics control commission there. So he released some numbers. And mind you, China has 1.3 billion people.
Yeah.
Right?
Billion.
It's like the United States and Canada like 3 times. Like, literally. He said that there's only 24, he estimated only 24,000 people were on cannabis.
24,000?
24,000 out of 1.3 billion.
Let's try how many people in Denver.
Right? I was like, what? That would be
probably more
look,
users of cannabis in
that's
Denver.
That's 0.0018% of their population on cannabis. If that number is true,
that's very little.
Like, not
that's
even
minute.
a percent. Like, wait, what? So, but I don't think that's. It can't be. Because that would be like less. It says literally right here, less than 2 in every 100,000 people would be using cannabis.
Makes sense.
No.
But here's my debate with that then. Like, that kind of almost segues into the fact that like cannabis' literal like ancestor was found in China.
In China.
So if you're gonna try to tell me that that's the case, probably half these people don't even know how to take the damn survey that you sent them.
Right.
Not to sound rude, not saying like.
No,
not saying
I'm
they're uneducated or anything like that. I'm just more saying like they got shit to do. Like, people are busy in China all the time.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have lazy time in China. I feel.
So
man.
look,
like
he said that
you're out there working hard.
They only intercepted 115 packages, all right, that were via sent international postal parcels, containing a total of 55 kilograms, which is only about 121 pounds.
That's not that much.
That's not a lot of weed.
No, that's not that
much.
Like,
there was just a bust of weed in, like, California, where they had, like, 4 times this amount of weed.
Yeah. I mean,
in one grow, like, one little grow, yeah. Oh, man.
There's mom and pop grows here in Boulder and all over, I'm sure, that have 3 times that amount, just chilling in their vault, just like, you know, when the world's going to end, I got 300 pounds of weed. Let's go.
See, and this doesn't make sense. So how could you have only 24,000 people using cannabis if you eradicated? So in 2016, they eradicated nearly 1.4 million illegal cannabis plants.
Yeah. And you're going to try to tell me that.
Like, it made no sense, bro.
This is basically like Russia being like, only this amount of us drink vodka.
Right.
I don't know, man.
I think more than you do. Yeah, I was real confused. But anyways, side note, don't get caught in China with more than 50 grams because it's the death penalty. So, just side note, throwing that out there. Don't go to China and get caught smuggling more than 50 grams because you're going to die. It's the death penalty. Yeah. That's only a little more than 2 ounces, so... Get caught taking that in here, it's death penalty.
Like, shot in the streets type shit? Like you just...
it says right here.
They just put you in a shooting
cannabis
line?
Remains
Dunzo?
highly, they made sure to put that in there, highly illegal in China. Those caught smuggling more than 50 grams, it's just under 2 ounces, like I said. Or actually, yeah, just under 2 ounces, not even over 2 ounces, under 2 ounces. It's a controlled substance, as far as they're concerned, even though it's not, but in China it's considered a controlled substance. And yeah.
Can't you get like opium in China? But you can't get weed,
yeah, you go,
like, what do you mean?
Face the death penalty for bringing 2 ounces of weed to China.
My mind is boggled.
Yeah, don't get caught. Don't get caught.
I'm big sad right now for all my homies.
Oh, and then another side note, you know,
in China that got the death penalty.
Yeah, back to what you were saying. Archaeologists just recently announced the discovery of a 2,500-year-old cannabis smoking device at an ancient Chinese burial ground. And medical researchers estimated that the earliest source of cannabis on the plant emerged in what you were talking about, the Tibetan Plateau.
Yep. So basically, like, the upper area that I want to say became known as like
China now.
Yeah, and also like it was like Silk Roadish area at one point in time. Basically, they were using it for like spiritual like ceremonies. So, what the archaeologists were saying that had found it, they either believed that they were using cannabis to either try to feel more in touch with the lost ones,
Yeah, they were
or
getting
to
high at funerals,
desensitize themselves.
basically.
Yeah, like
they were getting high
boxing.
at they were getting high at funerals, bro.
The way this thing looks, man, is it's like it's a huge like one hitter, but just with a hole in the center, and they take a bunch of hot stones, like they're charcoal grilling up some fine cannabis.
Oh, it's like a
ground
sauna
up.
room, but with
yeah,
weed.
but with weed.
Nice.
Sauna huts.
Sauna huts. That sounds great.
And that's how you send off
And that
your
was
ancestors.
and that was 28 million years ago.
Yeah.
So why they're killing people in China?
We send
when
off
we
our
found
ancestors.
the earliest smoking devices and we found the like first traces of weed being used in China. Stop it. Stop it. I'm just saying.
Get it out of here.
Legalize. Legalization. Let's do it. Back to that segue of have you guys heard of the clear? You know what I'm saying? Let's take a hit.
Yeah. No,
yeah, that's crazy, man. I was
that
like,
discovery blew my mind, man. I was just like, damn,
yeah.
weed's been around for so. That's like that made me
That's
start
crazy.
jumping
That
into
is.
like some religious thoughts and stuff. Where I was like, man, maybe all these things that people thought about Jesus were just like Jesus got everybody hella stoned with weed, man. Like, I turned water into wine. Well,
And he was black. His hair was of wool. I'm just saying. This is woolly.
Just throwing that out there. Just throwing that out there, man. Like, I might think I was walking on water if I was high enough.
Hey,
Just
that's
saying.
very true. That's very true.
I mean, people have used hallucinogens to get people to do
Oh!
some diabolical things.
So did you see California finally released their cannabis divide chart?
Yeah, I did.
It still looks crazy.
Yep, it looks nuts.
There's still so many like just random territories.
I feel like there's just like
Dude, it's too big. Split it.
They just keep building mountains, you know, that they have to like try to
Climb
climb,
over?
and then like they
Oh,
get to
man.
like the summit, they think. But realistically, they're just at some plateaued area that looks like the summit,
Bruh.
but they were just caught in a blizzard. And now when the blizzard settled, they're like,
Bruh.
holy shit, this is Everest.
Bruh. You're not lying.
Nah, dude. Just gotta keep getting higher and higher and higher. And then they realize, shit, it's all coming down back on top of us.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, no, I was like, wow.
I will say though,
Side note, what's your favorite strain?
my favorite strain, like recently, I'd say, I've been digging Mac. Have you tried that yet? I've been digging Mac.
That's
Mac's been pretty good.
The alien cookies, right?
Yeah, the
miracle alien cookies, or is it magical?
It's
alien?
magical alien cookies, I believe.
Something alien cookies.
Yeah. An M word. Maybe one of our live viewers can correct us on that, but I still feel like I think it's magical. I could be wrong. Could be miracle. But anyways, it's tasty. It
Yeah.
gets you real stony. I
It
like
does.
that high. For a good sativa though that I've been smoking on, there's been some Mandarin cookies going around.
Yeah, that Mandarin cookies is fire. The one that I really like that has a really good citrusy flavor that I keep telling all my peoples out there about is the tropical cookies.
Yeah, the tropical cookies.
Oh
Yep.
my lord.
Basically anything cookies right now, I'm on.
Yeah.
What's the best strain in Colorado?
I think it's relative to the smoker.
Yeah,
man.
that really depends
it's
on
relative
you.
to you.
Like it depends on if you want that super heavy stone, if you want that like really, really nice and energetic stone, if you want that racy high, that all depends on the person and the individual and how they're feeling.
Yeah, I 100% agree that.
Because there's strains that like sometimes I won't touch in a day, and then there are sometimes I'm all about getting super blitzed off of it. So
Yeah, I used to tell people to purchase, like when we both used to work in the cannabis industry. Actually, we both did retail stuff too. When I used to sell weed, one thing I used to tell people when they would ask me like, well, what should I smoke? I would just like pull out a few things and be like, you smell and tell me. You know what I'm saying? Because your nose will know. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Once you smell it, like something will captivate you and you'll be like, that one smells like that's the one for me. You know what I mean? And that's the one you should go with. Because you're going to have a way better experience with that high, listening to yourself and your own senses than anything that I can tell you. Because honestly, I'm going to sell you weed off of my own experiences because that's the only thing I can judge it off of anyway, is how it made me feel. And it can make you feel completely different. And weed, I used to one of the best analogies I used to give people was I used to be like, when you're sitting there smelling and looking at weed, it's like a pregnant woman having a craving. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like pregnant women have cravings for reasons, and the reason usually has to do with needing something in the process of being pregnant. Like they need something, they're a lack of something. And that's how weed is too. Like we all have, these natural occurring cannabinoids in our bodies, and all these, natural little like, yeah, cannabinoids. I said it already. High moment. So I feel like when you're sitting there buying weed and you're smelling all the different weeds, if something jumps out to you, it's because your body is telling you that you're a lack of something that's in that weed. So you should probably just listen to your body, take that weed and run with it, because you're probably gonna have a way better experience. Again, like I said, because I can only sell you shit off of my own experiences at that point. So yeah, man, just look at it that way.
And everybody gets high differently.
Mhm.
Like, we could both sit down, smoke the same strain, and you could have a completely different response to it than I do.
Yep.
That's
Yeah.
why anytime I've ever recommended a strain to somebody, I always, every time they walk in, how'd you like that? How'd it make you feel? What were the effects for you? So that the next time you and I have our encounter, I can help you pick up the best thing for you.
Yep. Yep. Yeah.
That's basically how I describe the best strain in Colorado.
Yeah, that's the best way. It's all up to you, man. It's all relative to the person.
But if you wanted me to pick 3 strains for you that, like, I'd say you definitely enjoy for sure, without a doubt in my mind, would definitely, like we were saying, the Tropicana cookies, like, insane, absolutely nuts.
Tastes like oranges.
Yeah, it tastes like straight up oranges.
Fruit punch.
I really have been digging the Mac, is what it's called.
Yeah.
And then we have a really, really solid cut of wedding cake still in our state that's been popping off, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's really good.
That is really good.
We haven't really had the heavy gelato cuts hit up here yet, still.
Yeah, there's a few going around.
I still feel like they're not, like, I don't know, some of the stuff
They're
that
all
I've
right.
seen in
They're
Cali is pretty
unstable.
nuts, yeah.
Well, they're like compared to the ones out there.
Yeah.
Like we have a lot of like unstable.
I think that's the thing that people
Biscotti
forget is that when we
cookies
start
and
to get
gelatos.
strains out here, they're not always going to come through like super, super fire when the first harvest is. Like, that's not.
They're just
That's just
well,
not how
and
it
I
works.
mean,
you gotta
some-
get it to like actually like function in our climate versus that climate.
Yeah, no,
So,
100%. And then sometimes too, because like to get it strained, like new strains into the system, they have to be bred in the state to even be allowed.
Right.
So like sometimes some of the our gelato's not necessarily the same one because it had to be bred here first. And they're still trying to figure it out. Like we have gelato 43 and
Right.
gelato 33 and gelato 45, and there's a ton of them. And it's just literally because people were taking the genetics that gelato is, breeding their own, and trying to pinpoint and figure out which one was the closest to the original one in Cali. And that's how they were able to get it into our system to be able to legally sell it in a store. So, yeah, sometimes it's not the exact same cut, you know what I'm saying, as what you might see on Instagram. Just throwing it out there. You got to know the difference.
I mean, you see those top growers and those master growers are selling cuts that are 2nd gen to 5th gen to 15 gen cuts of their strain. So you're not getting the same cut as what they basically are showing off on all of their Instagrams. So keep that in mind as like investors, as master growers, when you're always buying those seed packs, things like that. Be on the lookout for that number. A lot of the time it does mean the generation, and make sure that they give you a lot of information on your strains.
Yep.
Instead of just diving into something that you think you'll like because you've tried it before.
Yeah. Yeah, that's real life, especially coming from a different state. Like since we're not fully legalized across the nation, we're nowhere near like there's talks of being able to transport across state lines and stuff like that, and which will allow for companies to be able to kind of more regulate and have a better sense of quality control on their products from state to state. But until that point, it's a very interesting wild west situation still when it comes to companies moving into different territories, because they have to do it in such a interesting, precise way that it's more like franchising and not so much you growing as an individual company. You know what I mean? You lose the mom and pop like feel and like reputation as soon as you go into another state.
Yep.
Because you're not working with your own people that you placed there for your own reasons and blah blah blah, like people that came from your original hometown or company. Like you're working with someone who was able and capable of getting licenses in these particular states that you couldn't obtain. And then you almost franchise your name and reputation basically to these people to operate underneath. But essentially they own the licenses, not you. So it's a very weird situation trying to like quality control into different states. I mean, even like if like this company here, the Clear, like they originally started in California, but like the company here or the licenses here don't really have anything to do with the licenses in California necessarily, in Nevada.
Right, and that's kind of how OPEN operates as
Yeah,
well. I mean, there are companies that have multiple locations, and they don't do any kind of like trading as far as product is concerned. All of the product is made in that state and doesn't go anywhere else. So
yeah, because they have to.
by law.
They legally can't transport. So like once we get to a point where people can transport across state lines, obviously via like licensing and proper paperwork and stuff.
It'll be a federal law, and that would be that'd be a huge step towards federal legalization.
Would.
Even just getting that going.
Because if you could set up a hub,
states.
In let's say Colorado, just for the sake of the conversation, because we're here, there's a lot of big companies that started in Colorado that are in majority
like
of the
a
other
transport tax, like a way to like have you hit a weigh station. Basically, you have to pay.
I'm sure there's going to be ways to do it.
It'd be tied into everything, but
but
they'll make a tax
to
make it
literally like control all your
and it would create
quality.
more jobs too. So I don't know. Federal legalization would be huge. It also then allows companies to go into open trade, and we'd have open markets when it comes to Wall Street with cannabis, because we already have that with Canada. And there's like a few companies that are hemp companies from Nevada that have now made it. So it's just wild to see where things are starting to head into the business side of our industry, instead of it just looking at like the revolution, the medical side of our industry. Well, now we're starting to see like all the investing opportunities that aren't just a dispensary, but are just literally being a public trader. So big things are on the horizon, that's for sure.
Yeah, it's all about waiting it out, and getting in where you fit in at this point. Yeah. That's kind of why I left the industry, because I felt that I could do more and make a bigger impact from outside the situation than inside of it directly. So that's where we are now. You know what I mean? I love talking about cannabis. I love learning about it and teaching people about it. Yeah. And that's really it was a time and a place for that, because I had to go first learn all the stuff and be inside of it, firsthand experiences, to get to this point, to even recognize that this is what I wanted to do, because that industry is very stressful. You have to really
a lot of work.
Yeah, you have to really understand. Like, a lot of people will come in like, "Yo, man, it's really cool. You're a legal drug dealer," and they forget like it's still a job.
It's still retail at the end of the day. You're doing customer service. I mean, there's no like
management was still management
at the beginning of your start in the industry. It definitely feels like you're walking down like the red carpet, these golden gates, and you're like, man, like I'm in the dream. I'm working with cannabis. But ultimately, still the greatest experiences I ever had with cannabis was still working for myself. And I think that like just ties into like even back to when I had my first interview with CannaPostDaily before I became a co-host, is that do what makes you happy. Because as long as you figure out how to take your life into your own hands, essentially, and you figure out how to like take a job and it supports the lifestyle that you want, that's the key to work. Find a job that supports the lifestyle that you want. So if your lifestyle has to change due to the work that you choose to pursue, then that's change that you're comfortable with. If you're not comfortable with it, then change your job, change what you're doing. That's what you have control over. It's you.
Real life.
And cannabis helped me figure all that out. So
yeah. Like I said, I'll never take my time in the industry for granted. I learned a lot. I was able to, put myself in a lot of cool situations and positions to work with great people, learn from great people. But ultimately, I have more to offer the industry than what I was, kind of giving them at this point. You know what I'm saying? So, or what I was able to give in the stores.
Favorite strain for us? We've actually been talking about this a few times today.
Tropical cookies.
Yeah, we kind of both
Tropicana cookies.
Yeah, Tropicana cookies is what we both came to the conclusion of. The super orangey, really nice, laffy high.
Yeah.
Lemon OG's fire for sure. Lemon OG's a good strain, but for me, I grew lemon skunk for an entire year, so like lemon strains. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not a big fan of lemon for my terp. I try to stay away from that one. White Rhino is a great strain. Brings back the the White Widow days and things like that.
Yeah.
Super happy.
One of the realest one I've ever seen. I appreciate you, Chris. What's up, everybody? What's up, everybody? He said.
Sorry if it seems like we're not like getting to your guys' comments. We have it pulled up on the phone, so it's kind of like hard for us to always see exactly what you say as soon as you say it. But we're trying to catch up with your comments right now, y'all. Appreciate you guys being here today, checking out some of our CannaPostDaily action, sponsored by our good friends, The Clear.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, so appreciate you guys tuning in with us. Yeah, man. What else? You got anything else this week, this episode?
That we want to add on right now? I think we're kind of at where we wanted to be at. Do you guys have any questions for us outside of our favorite strain? Anything like that you want to ask my good friend Mile High Floatin' here?
Or Z-Boy Wonder over here?
Because we got the minds and we got the time, so let yourself unwind.
Oh, man, look at this. Ben & Jerry wants to make CBD ice cream.
I actually saw that. I saw that trending on Twitter a couple days ago, actually.
Yeah, but they have to figure out how to get it past the FDA.
Yeah, because that's why. Well, that's why. Right on. So, me strain's good for PTSD, anxiety, depression. I have complex PTSD. Strains that are good for like. Usually, what you're gonna want to look for is something that's a mild stone, more so than not. Like you want to steer clear of doing sativa strains. Sativa strains are going to hit you.
They're more in the head.
Like more of a head high, as well as they kind of give you a racier high. Not always,
more
but
anxious type
high. more anxious essentially.
So it won't. Stay away from the sativa stuff. And really, like the best
indicas
way.
Indicas are definitely you want to go to, but you also don't want a super heavy indica because that can also make you feel like a zombie. So it makes you feel like you
are counterproductive.
Yeah.
Not you. But one thing I used to tell people, one of my best advice for people who are looking to experiment with cannabis and try to figure out what works for them, because we're all so different. We're all chemically made up different. We're all going to smoke the same thing and get different effects. Like the 100 people are going to have 100 different highs. The thing I used to say is start a weed journal and literally just like label at the top, name, start, middle, end, side notes, whatever. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't have to be anything complicated, but just write down every time you try a product, write down what it was. And then from the start of the high or the experience, write down like a couple notes to remind yourself what that was like. From the middle of it, maybe like an hour in, basically, once it kind of like really starts to take that effect, tell yourself, well, again, write down a few things that are going on that you remember or that you're feeling.
Yep.
And at the end, do the same thing. And then you literally have yourself like a timeline to know kind of like how that high progressed and finished from start to finish. You know what I'm saying? And you can start to pinpoint what it is that you do and don't like about certain strains. And from there, you can take that information. And there's a lot of different sources online where you can go learn about terpenes and stuff like that, and different terpene profiles. And that's going to help you even pinpoint even more what it is that you like and don't like about strains, is by learning the different terpene profiles of the ones that you do like.
All weed notes.
Yep. And literally like just, a weed journal, man.
If you ever been like a waitress or a waiter, and you worked in a finer dining establishment, they essentially make you do that with like any of the wines that you guys have at your work or any of the beers
but
now.
To learn about the notes and stuff,
so that
wines,
so you know all of the things that if it's tannic, if it's super sweet, things like that, smoky, so that you have the ability to basically be quizzed on it and know everything about it. So like that's kind of what they started to do with us actually. At one point, I think before you started there, we actually would get like samples to literally make a notebook essentially on like, yo, this is how this strain is, like this is what its effects were for me, such and such, and like that was how like Aaron basically would make us
I had to do
things.
I didn't do it at Kind Love, but I did have to do that, and I helped do that at Good Chemistry.
Yeah. Like they would give, because I did a lot of the weed maps for us and stuff, like they would give me like a discount, but so that I could sit there and basically like, all right, you're going to get 10 grams this week so that you can actually write all these inserts on these strains so that you actually know what the hell is going on. And like, okay, that's a lot of weed to smoke, but I'm cool with this.
I'm cool with it. Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yep.
Yeah, that's lit. Yeah, man. So, well, I think that might kind of conclude the end of this one.
I think we've had a good episode this week. If you guys have any additional comments, concerns, questions, feel free to always leave them in the comments. Hit us up in the DM on CannaPostDaily. That's on all social media platforms.
All
Coming
of
to
them.
Twitter real soon.
Real soon.
I'm Z-Boy Wonder.
I'm Mile High
That's
Floating.
me on all of my social medias. So you can follow me there. You can follow my boy Mile High Floating on all of his social medias as well through Mile High Floating.
Yeah.
But we appreciate you guys hanging out with us today. We hope to see you again next week. Same place, same time.
Peace.